Okay, this is the Dove Lady, and I'm making a video. Hopefully it's going to work this time. This is a story. I found it in my Google Drive. I didn't put it there, and it's called AA. That's the name of the file. And it's an ABC story. It's very unique. It begins, and you will understand it only as I go along. And right in the middle of it, it talks, it puts some scientific knowledge into the file, because what this A and B story is about is science, although it's told in a very simple, poetic style. I think you'll enjoy it. So here I go, holding my camera, trying to read this and look over my camera. I've got to get something to hold it up, man. It's called the ABC story. A loved B, and B loved A. But A could never be B, and B could never be A. Oh, they could fly, and fly they did, and twirl around each other gleefully. They thought about a C. The ideal came to A, and it was a positive ideal. And B was pleased to have a C. It was up to B because B was a she. And A was a positive, a he, and B was a negative, a she. As it was, they would often try to have a C, but when they forced themselves to be one, disintegration was then begun. They wanted to be apart, but not to be apart, and that was a dichotomy. Entangled and yet one, you see. That's what we could eventually be. We can create with thought, for we are light, and light is a mind that can find a way to have our little getaway. Now, then this goes into a little bit of science before the story continues, so bear with me. This is important science. Oxygen's third discoverer was, I'm not going to say that name, too difficult, who gave the element its name. The word comes from the Greek oxy and genus, meaning acid forming. Oxygen has 8 total electrons. 2 orbit the nucleus of the atom's inner shell, and 6 orbit it in the outermost shell. Element number 8 of the periodic table of the elements is a colorless gas that makes up 21% of Earth's atmosphere. Because it's all around, oxygen is easy to dismiss as dull and inert. In fact, it's the most reactive of the non-metallic elements. Earth has been oxygenated for about 2.3 billion to 2.4 billion years. And levels began to creep up at least 2.5 billion years ago, according to a NASA-funded study. No one knows quite why this lung-friendly gas suddenly became a significant part of the atmosphere, and it's possible that geologic changes on Earth led to oxygen produced by photosynthesizing organisms sticking around rather than being consumed in geologic reactions, according to the study researchers. And then there's a symbol for oxygen. Breath of life. Oxygen is the third most abundant element in the universe, according to the Thomas Jefferson National Acceleration Family. However, its reactivity made it relatively rare in early Earth's atmosphere. Cyanobacteria, which are organisms that breathe using photosynthesis, take in carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen, just like modern plants. Cyanobacteria were likely responsible for the first oxygen on Earth, an event grandly known as the Great Oxidation Event. Photosynthesis by cyanobacteria was likely ongoing before significant levels of oxygen built up in Earth's atmosphere. A March 2014 study published in the journal Nature Geoscience found that 2.95 billion years old rocks found in South Africa contain oxides that would have required free oxygen to form. These rocks were originally in shallow seas, suggesting that oxygen from photosynthesis first began to accumulate in marine environments about 500 million years before it began to accumulate in the atmosphere around 2.5 billion years ago. Life today depends heavily on oxygen, but the initial buildup of this element in the atmosphere was nothing short of a disaster. The new atmosphere caused a mass extinction of anaerobes, which are organisms that don't require oxygen. Anaerobes that were unable to adapt or survive in the presence of oxygen died off in this new world. Hydrogen is the chemical element with the symbol H and atomic number 1, with a standard atomic weight of 1.008. Hydrogen is the lightest element in the periodic table. Hydrogen is the most abundant chemical substance in the universe, constituting roughly 75% of all baryonic mass. And there's the symbol. And then it tells about oxygen. The chemical symbol for oxygen is O, but it is frequently written as O2. This is because when oxygen is not chemically combined with anything else, it bonds to another oxygen atom, making an oxygen molecule. Oxygen is a diatomic molecule, and that's how we encounter it in air, May 17, 2019. Diatomic molecules are molecules composed of only two atoms of the same or different chemical elements. The prefix di is of Greek origin, meaning two. It is a diatomic molecule if a diatomic molecule consists of two atoms of the same element, such as hydrogen, H2, or oxygen, 02, then it is said to be homonuclear. And then there's this beautiful little picture. I really love this one. It looks like the yin and yang, but it looks like two fish in the sea. And now the story continues after all that science. Now remember, this is about A and B. Oh, the sea, the beautiful sea, said B. It could be this beautiful sea. In the sea, we can be together more intimately, said A to B. Then we can swim and I lay eggs, just like me they would be. And I could fertilize those eggs and there would be many A's and B's, said A to B, and B agreed. So off to the sea, to the beautiful sea, to the sea, to the sea, to the beautiful sea, said she. And there's your oxygen symbol. And with 8, we can create. So hydrogen learned to do some orbitals, quite a few, and they were beautiful. And then into this file came some of my pictures that I've often thought when I'm taking pictures of light that I'm getting hydrogen and orbitals. And there's a couple of them, and even the one that I thought called the curved line balls. And 8 joined him in no, wait a minute, that's not 8. And B joined him in the fun. Opposed they were, but then the fun. Colors came from light and dark, for D, you know, came after C. And colors mingle and blend and fuse. And A and B and C and D were creating each and every day. They honored day with light and night with dark. There came the day when E was born, E for Earth, a planned experiment. All these hues of red and yellow, black and white, how precious are they in our sight? And then it shows a symbol for Earth. Earth is one of the 4 classical elements. This element symbolizes physical sensation and growth. It also represents the manifestation of matter. The alchemical symbol of Earth is a downward pointing triangle with a line across it at the tip. Earth is cold because it is opposing the heat of fire. She came from the sun, and human life had begun upon the earth as it had on Neptune. But then, oh, but then, we were more light. When water breaks, the birth began, and life of humans differed some, so many A's and B's getting together, experiencing love and pain and pleasure. And then there's this symbol that I think is symbol of different religions of the world. And that was the end of the story for now, unless they give me more. Anyway, I really like that. And I'll show you while I'm going to go to some of my albums. I'll show you some of my different pictures. Make a slideshow of it. Okay, go. Go, go, go. I've been taking these orb pictures now for over 8 years. I have thousands of them. I'm afraid to say 1 million. Maybe I don't think I have 1 million, though. That's a lot. But I do have a lot. And I want people to know they're welcome to print them or to put them in a book, or I don't have any copyright on them. And I will send these pictures as albums to anyone's email that wants to look at them that way. Google Albums lets you do that. They let you share your photo albums with other people. And if you want to print them up and put them in a book, that's all right. If you make some money off of it, good. I don't have to have any, but if you wanted to share, that'd be all right too. But I just don't want to put a copyright on something that was freely given to me, so I freely give it to others. And it's so beautiful, how could I not want to share it? Anyway, I'm going to end this video now, and I will be making more in the days ahead. We have electricity now. I'm in Texas. We just had that big snowstorm that we're not used to in Texas. In Colorado, they would have thought it was a piece of cake, man. But here it was like rough. We lost our electricity, and today I don't have water because I've got electricity back, but the lines, I guess, after they thawed, maybe they broke or something. Or anyway, some really nice ladies came to the house. I live in a community of seniors, and they knocked on my door. Do you need your trash taken out? And I did. And said, do you need water? And I did. So that was real nice. People are good, like God is. God is good, and we people are good too. So I'm just going to end this now. And this is the Dove Lady, the Orb Lady. Call me what you want. Comment if you please. I love comments. I love hearing from people who like my videos. So over and out for now. Bye-bye.